have changed. Brought to you in part by Coors Extra Gold, the beer with a full tilt taste.
Welcome back to Alpine Garage Sports, folks. My name is Chris, and we are in the garage today. I decided that I was going to kind of go down the road of looking at what's available for tickets at the CU games going for the 2023 season and see where we're at as far as, let's say, a sellout is concerned in any one of these games. Now, keep in mind that just about every year where the fever pitch comes into play is when fall ball starts and we get a little bit closer to season and then people start picking up more tickets. What does that look like for us? Are there still tickets available for what games? We're going to go through every game, and you're going to be surprised to the game that I think is going to sell out first. And I think it's evident which one is going to sell out first. So let's go down that list. So first of all, we have Nebraska, which is our first home game. And I'm going to show you here the map right now. And keep in mind that you can still get tickets through StubHub, resell tickets basically, probably all the way up till the game. But I'm talking about just paying money for a traditional or a standard ticket from the University of Colorado. Right now, you can see here that we've got the least expensive ticket to the Nebraska game is $460, which is what I paid. And it goes up to $924. Now, that $924 is going to be for like the Byron White Club, which is I'm going to show you where that is. This is the Byron White Club right here. These are the suites that are at the top of Folsom Field on the east side. The best view of the Flatirons from those suites. And as you can see, there's a $40 catering fee for each one of these because you're going to get fed there as well. And then down here, you've got your 50-yard line tickets are going for $460. All this is $460 right here. Get down a little lower, you're at $715. On the opposite side, you're anywhere from $715 to $555. And then the Flatirons Club, which is on the west side, you're looking at about $700 to $625, about $625 there for the Flatirons Club. Now, right now, there are, like Section 103 is single tickets, but everything else is low. There's a couple in here that are moderate, which are the top of the Flatirons. So, not too bad, and honestly, for the first game at home for Prime, and the fact that it is the Nebraska Cornhuskers, which we probably, we're not going to see a lot in the future. This is going to be an epic game, and I think it's worth every single dollar, but I don't think it's the best value, and I'll tell you what the best value is. So let's go into the next game, which is going to be Colorado State. Colorado State are in-state rivals. This is going to be a fun game, I can tell you that right now. And the fact that there's still plenty of availability. As you can see, the nosebleeds are kind of sold out there in the south end zone. We do have one Section 208, which is $175, which isn't bad. But the tickets start at $175 and go to $575, so you can get in the Byron White Club for $575. So if you wanted to get into a club suite, you could do that for $575 plus a $40 fee. So you're looking at a little over $600 for the Colorado State game. You can also get 50-yard line seats for about $200. So not bad. Opposite side, about $350 for the west side of the stadium. And the total overall availability is singles for 108, 120, and 121 to moderate availability in the top of the Flatiron. So not bad at all. There's still tickets available there. So let's jump into the next one, which is going to be what I think is the best value for a home season or for a home ticket for the University of Colorado, and that is going to be the USC game. Surprisingly, right now Nebraska's got 24 sections still available. We have Colorado State at 33 sections available. USC has 38 sections available. Now, why is there so much availability for the USC game? We know that's going to be likely one of the toughest, if not the toughest game we play this year. We know that we're going to have, Caleb Williams in the house, and we have an opportunity to spoil his Heisman bid and an opportunity for Shedeur to really, if we beat USC at this game and we shame Caleb Williams in our own stadium and Shedeur has a fantastic game, this game is the game that could put Shedeur on the road to getting a Heisman in his first year at Colorado. I'm going to say that right now. If we can do what we say we're going to do at Colorado against USC, Shedeur could actually be a front runner for the Heisman Trophy if we do this right now. 38 sections available. You're looking at singles in 118, which is the 50-yard line, all the way to moderate in some of the upper, let's say, upper east side, and also the top of the flat irons again. But you can get a club seat up here for $625 plus your fee for food, which is going to be about $665, plus your 15, so you're talking about $680. $680 for a club seat to the USC game. That's a pretty darn good value. I'm going to say that. Right now, that's a great value on a ticket. And it's just really weird. Like, Section 108 is single seats. I don't understand that. Anyway, USC, best value so far. Not the first that's going to sell, obviously. 38 sections available. So now let's go to Stanford. Now, before I click on this is going to surprise you. Stanford is going to sell out before any game. Okay, so you're like, what the heck, man? We're supposed to smoke Stanford. Why are we selling out the stadium for Stanford? That is Parents' Weekend. So I will be there as well as being a CU Buff parent. And this is the CU Buff parents. So we buy a ticket. There's 3 different tickets available. There's a lot. You buy your ticket, and that gets you involved in all of the events that are going on at CU for the Parents' Weekend, and it also gets you into the game. So in this particular case, it also gets you a discount for a ticket to get in the game, which is why these tickets are already cheap. Right now, if you wanted to do a ticket to the Stanford game, it is totally sold out except for Section 101. And right now, it's $225 for a ticket in Section 101. And I'll bet you there's a handful of tickets there left. It shows low availability, which means you can still get 2 or 3 seats together. So, but that won't last long. And then the Flatirons Club is almost completely wide open, except for the top right, Section 402, which is weird because every other game, the top of the Flatirons is like totally wide open. So, very strange, but you can also get the Byron White Club for $670, plus your 40, plus your 15, so you're looking at about $750. So, at this point, I think the Stanford game is going to sell out, and that's going to be a pretty good game anyway. Let's see. Oregon State, which I think probably will be one of the best games at home for us. And at that point, and I didn't even go down this road, but 13 sections in Stanford for the Stanford game were open compared to 38 sections for USC. Now, as you can see, the O State game has a lot open. 42 sections are open. I mean, 42 sections. This thing has not even started to sell. Now, at this point, I think it may be because it's late in the game and people aren't probably into that just yet. What's CU going to look like at that point? Are we going to be, a winning or losing team? I don't know what the situation is, why people aren't buying this, but DJU is coming to town. And we also have, the fact that Oregon State was number 14 in the country last year. Before DJU came, now we know we lost some of their big defensive starters that were really huge for them last year. But they've been pretty good in the portal. And I don't see that they're going to fall off probably a whole lot. They're definitely vying for a Pac-12 championship. So the fact that this game is so wide open is amazing to me. And by far and away, one of the cheaper games, so $120. So any of these seats here are going to be $120 to $125 over here in the south end zone. I affectionately call it the nosebleeds, but in Folston, it's not nosebleed. You can see the field just as good there as you can anywhere else. And then if you wanted to be on the 50-yard line, you're talking about $235. I mean, for this year anyway, $235 is not bad. Last year, you were looking at tickets between $60 and $150, $160. This year, we're looking at $120 to $300, $400 for a regular seat. So, Prime's come to town, and we're going to be winning a lot more, and it's going to be a lot more exciting. So you get more bang for your buck, I think, even if you're paying more. So in this particular case, $510 for a suite. So you can get in there for, let's say, $560 and get taken care of like a king or a queen and watch a really good Oregon State game at Folsom Field. That is a great ticket. Now, let's go to the last game of the year, which is Arizona I think a lot of people probably just yawned, but don't sleep on this game. Now, where Oregon State had 42 sections still open, Arizona actually has 44 open, so a couple more open. This game has barely started to sell. Basically, the student section is sold out, and then everything else is open. Also, the Champion Center and the Touchdown Club and all that sold out. But everything else has got good availability. Section 204's got like single seats. I don't understand that. But in any case, if you wanted to go there, that is the cheapest game. You can get a ticket for $115, which again for this year is pretty good. And who knows, maybe at that point we are undefeated and going into Arizona and going to smash them. Keep in mind that Arizona is kind of on a high right now from their recruiting. And Montana Lamonius Craig is going to be in the Buffs house again. He's going to be in Folsom playing yet again. And I, for one, am looking forward to see him play. I'm just going to say that right now. I like MLC, and I want to see him play, even though we're going to beat him. I hope he has a good game, but I hope we beat him. So anyway, so that's where we're at right there. So as you can see, still plenty of availability, oddly enough, except for Stanford. So if you really want to see Stanford, the parents' game tickets are sold out, meaning that you can't get a ticket to the parents' weekend festivities, but you can still get a ticket to the game. You're just going to be sitting in the far north end zone, like in no man's land out there. And I think there's only single tickets available, or maybe I can't even remember now. But in any case, the Stanford game is going to be tough to get. So at this point, I think Stanford game is going to sell out first. I do think that the Nebraska game is going to sell out. And then based on how we do in those first two games against TCU and Nebraska, I think everything else is going to sell out from there. So if we can beat TCU and beat Nebraska, everything sells out. If we can beat TCU or Nebraska, I think we're going to sell out a few more games after that as well. And that's just kind of where I'm at with it. So thanks a lot for hanging out with me. Sorry I don't have my hat on. I'm No Hat Chris right now. I can't find my normal CU hat. So I just thought, yeah, it's just I wanted to do this video. So let's just do this. And you get to see me with no hat and with my hair loss and everything else. But in any case, I appreciate you guys hanging out. We will see you in the next video. And if you haven't already heard, we coming.